I'm Christine Sanchez with New Management Solutions, and I want to talk about what employers look for in a resume and what things you can do to not have your resume thrown away. The first thing you could probably do is look over your resume for any misspellings. 70% of employers admit to throwing away resumes if they find any misspelling. So that's something very simple that you can look at right off the bat. And if anything, have someone else review your resume before sending it out or giving it to anyone, because that could be a very big minus or knockoff on your resume if there's any grammar or misspelling. Now, there's going to be 6 other things that I want to share with you that will hopefully help you in creating a resume that will stand out and have employers want to look further. The next thing is having job instability shown on your resume. The biggest thing is people don't want to see you jumping around from job to job. Now, there are certain things you can do to make your resume flow and have your jobs flow, especially if you've maybe had inconsistencies with school or any other reasons. There are certain tricks you can do to still have your resume have a nice flow to it, and we'll go back to that. The next thing would be mismatching your objective with your experience. Let me just give you an example. If you are an IT professional, if your objective doesn't match, let's say, what your experience is, the employer will be very confused. They won't really know where you're trying to land, and it'll be much harder for you to find a position. So you definitely want to match what you're trying to do as far as an IT professional with the experience that you have in your history. And that'll be involved in what type of content you put in your resume. And hopefully you can match that with the job description. That should give you a really big boost in the employer's eyes. The next thing would be a lack of clarity. Try not to use very big words. Big words aren't exactly going to sell you to the employer. Much more important is the actual content of your resume. What responsibilities did you hold in that job? So those are much more important than actually using big words that don't really explain anything. Much better to actually just refer to your roots and see exactly what you did and list those job responsibilities. It'll give the employer a much clearer view of the type of experience that you have. Next thing is lack of specifics. Really important words to help you create your resume and help you create a rich content like we were talking about before with specifics would be using things like increased productivity or landed so-and-so or developed so-and-so. There's a couple of things that you can do to create that rich content. The last 2 things would be lack of career progression. You want to show the employer that you've gotten more experience as the years have gone on. So being, let's just say, a cash assistant to an accounting professional to so and so and so on. You want to show the different responsibilities that you've created in the past. If you've moved up in a job and gotten promoted, what increase in responsibilities did you receive? Those are going to be very useful tips or useful things that you can use in your resume. The last thing is too long of a resume, and this could be different topics for different types of candidates. A 1-page resume is really for maybe a new grad if you don't have too much experience, but your resume shouldn't go any longer than 2 pages. That's usually what we recommend is 2 pages for anyone other than a new grad, because you definitely have the experience to show for it. Anything longer than two pages is a little too long and you may have lost the employer. Now, the different topics that we just touched on, they can't always be easy to think about all the things that you've done and the different questions to ask yourself. So we actually work one-on-one with all of our candidates, and we do about an hour, hour and a half where we sit down in an interview with you and we can do a phone conversation and really dig in deep to all of the experience that you have, the positions that you've held, and ask you those questions that you may have not even thought of. So we're going to give you the employer's perspective in order to create your resume, to make sure that the language in your resume matches what an employer out there in the job world is looking for. So we would love to help you create the perfect resume that won't get thrown away by employers. Give us a call at 954-427-3880, and we would love to work with you.